Good evening, everybody. We're going to have a little bit of change of format tonight. We are setting up a new product which is going to be directly oriented toward option trading. And so we did this last night. If you saw it last night, just kind of bear with us here. The game plan for tonight is that we'll do this introduction to our new product, and then we'll go back to our regular session of taking a look at charts. So, so the rerun's been changed a little bit, but not that much. So, last night we had a question of why are you adding a new product? Is this just to get more money out of people? And the answer was no. This has been because we got quite a bit of interest in option trading, which is very successful, obviously, with candlestick signals. And so what we're going to try to do in this new training is that we're going to try to learn the simple logic that's incorporated into candlesticks and put that into our option trading programs. Now, back to, is this another method to scrape money out of people? No. This is more work for me. I don't need the money. The reason we're doing this is about 80% of all the emails I get during the day are option trading questions. So there's been quite a few suggestions. Why don't we just set up a separate service for those people that are just interested in options instead of trying to mix it on the chat rooms? Because we've got enough people on the chat room that are more interested in still learning the basics of candlesticks. And then if they want to sometime in the future, they can advance to option trading. So what I'm trying to do with this new educational product is that we are going to be concentrating on using the candlestick strategies and apply the correct strategies for their best beneficial risk-reward factor for the different patterns and signals that we see in candlestick signals. Basically, all we're doing on the option side is taking advantage or leveraging more the aspect of the characteristics that we find in candlestick signals. Obviously, we're going to be able to try or be applying this to any trading entity because we're trading the underlying entity. Yeah, that's right. We burn the candlesticks at both ends with options. So essentially, you can trade options on stocks, bonds, currencies, commodities. And what we're going to be doing is we did this as a test run last night with our members because we had a number of members that would like to set up this service, so that's what we decided to do. But we had a lot of questions on, is this going to detract from the members' chat room? And definitely not. As a matter of fact, it will probably help the members' chat room where option trading setups can be more discussed away from the chat room through emails versus taking up space on the chat room. So the next question that we were getting, is this good for beginners? And the answer to that is yes. What we're going to be doing is I'm going to be teaching people how to use candlestick signals based upon the expiration date of the stocks, how to use the premiums effectively. So essentially what it's going to boil down to, is only going to be options only in the new product? Yes. The product is going to be that I will put out every Thursday night a video, just like we do in the stock picks, but it will probably be a little bit more concise as far as why we're buying the position. And so this is to answer another question. Somebody else said, will we still be using candlesticks in our option trading program? And that is definitely yes. That's the whole point of setting up this option trading program, is that we will be incorporating where the timing and the price magnitude become very effective for option trading. So we're going to be teaching people which is the effective stock effective exercise price, expiration date, strike price, and what premium we should be going after to make it worthwhile. Now, this is not an option trading program that says, here's the way you do it. Just follow what I tell you. It's the other way around. I'm going to give everybody the opportunity to trade the type of trades they like to do, but just incorporate candlestick signals in it. Some people want to trade in the money. Some people want to trade at the money. Some people want to trade out of the money. For the beginners, we will be going through each training, demonstrating what the time value is. We'll probably have exposure to the Black-Scholes models so somebody has a concept of which options are overpriced, underpriced, based upon the history of that options against that underlying stock. Mike, no, that'll be still up to each individual investor. I will probably be suggesting what you might do. Now, each individual investor has to decide how big a risk factor, or how much money they want to put into each position. Yeah, again, that comes under money management, and that'll also be incorporated. That's true, Dan. Yep. So, also, we probably won't be doing too many condors, and we probably won't be doing too many butterfly spreads. The reason for that is because of the benefits that we gain out of candle indication of the direction, as well as the timing, as well as the magnitude of a price trend. So I'm looking for things that are moving versus things that might not be moving very well. Yes, the option trading program will be a separate subscription. And the reason for that is we're going to have to be putting a lot more time and effort in, probably beefing up some more staff. So, again, this is something that we're not pushing out there because we want to push another product. This is being established because we've had enough members that are interested in options that they've kind of requested, could we do something separately so that we're not detracting from people learning options. So back to the beginners, we're going to be going through the benefits of options, which is essentially the leverage of a trade. We're also going to use it for downside protection. We're also going to use it to limit our market exposure. And in my case, I usually use option trading for higher priced stocks. And the one thing that we won't be doing is setting up things for hedging. Hedging is something where you're trying to protect yourself from a situation, but we're looking at the opposite direction. We're looking for the upside potentials of the situation. We're also going to reiterate the disadvantages of option trading, which is basically we have to worry about the commission costs are percentage-wise bigger. Every trade we do, we have to worry about the bid-ask spread. For example, if we buy a call or buy an option at the ask price and find out that we need to get right back out at the bid price, we're already going to have a good percentage loss. We're also going to work with liquidity, time decay, and the one thing that we're not going to be setting up is complex investment strategies. My trading, at the end of the day, I don't want to be sitting around for an hour figuring out what my next trade might be. I want to be able to figure that out, my next 2 or 3 trades in the matter of 20 minutes or less. So we're not going to be going into complex trading strategies, and I've never done that. I've always made good money by keeping the trading simple. We're going to use time decay for our advantage. There's going to be times when we do credit spreads, anticipating that that in the time factor that or the time element that we have left before expiration, that you make more money selling a put than you do buying a call. So the next question, why should anybody consider trading options? This was kind of a rhetorical question in that using candlestick analysis, we have a very strong visual, what do I want to say, analytical tool with the signals to show us the direction of a move, the timeliness of a move, and the magnitude of a move. And when you put all those three elements together, that makes for very successful option trading with some very simple strategies with candlesticks. So if we're analyzing our strategies, again, this is going back for some of those people that don't understand options as well. If we're going long, meaning we're bullish, we're either buying calls, we can be selling puts, which has some benefits and risk factors. We can be buying call spreads, which is what I consider one of the most effective methods for trading options, because it definitely reduces the risk, it magnifies the return, and it lowers the break-even cost of being in a trade. Or selling put spreads, which is the same concept as buying call spreads. And again, I had definitions of when do you buy. When we're buying outright calls, it's because the pattern that we're looking at has tremendous upside potential, so we want to get as much as possible. On the other side, when is it time to sell puts? When your resistance level is at a point where you might not have big upside, but with a short time frame to expiration, you can make very good high probability. So this is the reason that kind of the basis of why we're setting up this program, because if we can be able to evaluate a price movement with a high degree of probability based upon the historical results that are assembled by candlestick signals, this allows us to put on very simple programs or option programs without having to jump through hoops to make a good trade. Now, again, I want to kind of go back. The other night we had Andrew Keene on, who has a very good, successful trading program. And some people might like that, but other people might not have the time, meaning the time factor. They can't sit in front of the screen and do the type of trading he does. Some people need an option trading program where they can apply it because their schedule is that they work all day, so they only get a few minutes each day to check on trades. Or some people want a much longer term trade where they don't have to worry about getting in and out. So we're going to be able to show people how to set up their own trading program based upon their trading schedule. Bearish trades, got this in here, obviously, is we're buying puts, we're selling calls, we're buying put spreads, or we're selling call spreads. So for the people that aren't familiar with candlesticks as much, is we've got different patterns that become very effective for putting on spreads. For example, the J-hook pattern, we know wave 1 and wave 3 will be about the same magnitude. So this becomes a point right in here where we can evaluate what our upside potential is and whether a call or a call spread is much more effective than just buying calls outright. And when I set up a spread, anytime I look at a spread, I want the numbers to work out that I can make 2.5 to 3 times minimum on that spread. So that means if I'm buying a 5-point spread, I better not be paying any more than $2 for it. The reason for that is you start paying too much for a call spread, you've got all the other factors that we just discussed that can be disadvantages, like the bid-ask spread, your commission costs, as well as the trade not working. Not every trade is going to work. So when I do put on a trade, I want to make sure if that trade does work, the returns make up for the downside risks I've got going in the other side. Again, buying on the ask side and selling on the bid side already puts us at a small disadvantage. So the nice thing about candlesticks, and this is what I kind of keep stressing to people is that we can make assumptions. We can see a chart and very visually see when the buy signals occur, when the sell signals occur. And just recently, as we saw in the Dow, we had a huge morning star signal with an uptrend, and our assumption is it's going up here to test the upper trend channel. So there might be times where a spread versus a straight call position is much more beneficial, and I use an important factor for any time I do an option trade. And more important than, or just as important as the direction, the magnitude, and the time frame is the math. If the math doesn't make sense, go on to another one. There's tons of trades out there. I say tons of trades with the easy aspects that we have with candlestick signals. We don't have to depend on one trade. Each day that I look at trade potentials, even on a bad day, I'm going to find 5 or 6. On a good day, you're going to find 40. You just have to pick out or narrow it down to which trade is going to be the best one. Now, I've made most of my money in options doing call spreads or put spreads, because I can pretty much make 2.5, 3 times my money on a trade, which takes out a lot of risk factors. But trying to make 2 or 3 times your money if it's just a straight call situation. The downside, obviously, is sometimes you're going to miss a home run where the price just skyrockets, and you're going to be limited to making just $5 on that trade for each contract versus a huge upside. But in all my years, I can still count in less than 2 fingers the number of times that I've missed a big, huge trade. But I've made a ton of money making lots of doubles and triples and quadruple my money on spreads. So again, the big advantage we have with candlestick analysis is if we can see what wave 1 is, and we can see that there's a nice strong candlestick buy signal and a very good reason to be buying, first thing I do is check out the spread. So this is the type of information that people are wanting to learn, and I will be glad to teach it. And there, I've got, even though it's going to be a little bit more work each week, which I don't mind because I'm sitting here anyways, I also do it for a selfish reason. And part of that selfish reason is the more people that know how to analyze a trade, the more opportunities, or the more good situations I see by them coming back and asking whether it's good or not. And that's happened. I mean, that's what the whole chat room has done for me. We've got enough good traders out there that know how to scan and find the right stocks that are in breakout modes, that I get a lot of good ideas and probably a lot of recommendations coming into the chat room or into the picks every night based upon what people found during the day in the chat room. So fry pan bottoms, strong pattern. We're going to show what are the beneficial option strategies coming out of that, because we know what should happen as an expected result of these type of patterns. We also know what to look for and when to be buying, and knowing what the magnitude of our next move will be. So this is not rocket science. This is just simple stuff that allows us to get into some very high profit trades with low risk. For example, staggered spreads, where if we can see a pattern that is breaking out and we're buying one side in the morning and selling the other side in the afternoon, that makes for very tremendous leverage with very little money into a trade with much greater upside potential. I'm not ignoring anybody as far as their questions. I'll get back to everything right as soon as we get done through all this, because I'll have some questions of you all. What we want to really teach people is what option strategies, when is it, with what option strategy, when do we buy, and when do we sell. And we want to be able to do it on a fairly quick basis. We want to learn how to quickly assess which are our best trades during the day or during the next week or whatever time frame. We're going to be working on weekly options as well as the regular options. And again, we're going to be setting it up for people that want to trade quickly, 2-day trades, or somebody that wants to be in a trade for 2 weeks. This is not an education program that says, here's how you do it, just follow me. This is a option trading program that says, all right, here's all the benefits that you get from these type of chart patterns. Now let's figure out how to put that into your trading style or your trading schedule. So if I see a situation like this, I know something should be assumed, which is that they're going to break out into a wave 3, and I've got to figure out when what my math is for the time that it gets to execution. So if I'm buying right here, and I can analyze, here's wave 1 and here's wave 3, and here's expiration date, what am I hoping for? We bought the 65-70 spreads for $1.05. Now, that was a good distance away from where it broke out at I think it was around the 55 area. But the analysis was that if this got to this level on expiration date 3 weeks away, our $1 trade is going to turn into $5, which is exactly what this did. We have already put out the first video tonight. It's about 4.5 minutes, 5 minutes long, on trade situations of when do you buy the calls outright or when do you buy spreads. This recommendation, which is ISIS, we had 2 strategies in here, or we had a mixture of strategies. We were recommended buying the spread because we figure in about 3 weeks it would hit expiration at the top of the trend channel at a certain price. And we also said, all right, buy 1 position of spread and buy 1 position of the calls outright. Because if this does start skyrocketing, breaking through this upside, you're going to be making money in both cases. All right, so I appreciate you all sitting through this. This is basically what we're setting up on the Candlestick Forum right now so that we can get people into option trading or more succinct, more detailed trading information on option strategies. And it is, like everything else we do in here, it is oriented toward the beginner as well as the sophisticated trader. We're going to be setting up everything so that everybody understands what to do. So with that, we were going to set up this option trading area with a limited number of people. So you're going to get every Thursday afternoon, you're going to get recommendations on what to do for the next week, whether it's for the monthly calls or for the weekly calls. And for non-members, we're setting this up. It's a 1-year program for $9.94. It can be broken out into 2 payments at $5.94, one now and one 30 days later. Now, with this, we are going to be doing a lot more extensive training on nights where here's the schedule right now for option training. We're going to be doing staggered spreads, profitable hedging strategies, which is more, I'd say more aggressive than just hedging. Bearish option strategies. Also, what type of patterns we're going to go after when we're trying to hit that long ball. Bullish option strategies, and this will be in November, just the introduction to how to use options, again, for the if you're starting off basic. Now, if you total up these, what we usually charge for these programs, it more exceeds what you're going to be paying for it. So, again, we're not trying to cram this down everybody's throat. This is something that if you're interested in option trading and you want to learn how to do it so that you know how to do it versus watching somebody else do it, that's I hope some people have gotten the results of our training on Candlestick Forum. Is you will definitely get more than your money's worth. On top of that, the reason that we're just taking payments and going on for the next year is we're looking for the people that are really serious about option trading. We get a lot of people say, well, can't we do a trial period? The trial period is, for those that are really interested, if you buy the program in 30 days, it's not what you think it should be, or it's not for you, just say so. We'll send you your money back. I'm not trying to take anybody's money that doesn't want to learn some of this process. And what else am I supposed to be? Some people say, well, is this beneficial to be a member, learning how to use candlesticks and options? Yes, I equate it to when you're painting a car. You don't paint the car with red paint. First, you put a good base down of a primer, and then you paint it so everything kind of fits together. And that's kind of the same scenario that happens here. If you're learning how to use, now we're going to still be explaining why the trades are working, or why we're recommending certain trades based upon the candlestick pattern or signal. But we're not going to be going into the explanation of those patterns of signals, because we're going to assume that most people in the membership area have already learned that. So, again, for non-members, it's $9.94 or $5.94 for 2 payments, and as a member, it's $7.94. So, anyways, that's what we got. All right, now let me go back through and let's do this again. If you've asked a question that I've missed, let's go ahead and ask them again. The trade recommendations are made every Thursday afternoon. You're going to get about a 4 to 7 minute video. On top of that, my day, usually when I spend an hour or hour and a half in the chat room, off and on. In between, I'm usually answering emails, which, as I mentioned, 80% of them are option-oriented. And what will happen at this point is that when somebody comes in with a question, which usually is about the same question that 80% of the other people have asked questions about, I'll answer the question as detailed as possible, and then that will be emailed back out to everybody. So I'm going to try to keep as much option information in front of people as possible. Also, you have direct access to my email, that if you have a question, you just email me. This does not mean for members that we're going to be not discussing or answering questions about options in the member chat room. It's just that I won't be, giving as much details in the chat room, because obviously most of the people in the chat room want to learn about candlestick analysis, and not specifically candlestick analysis with options. We would be doing monthly and weekly option expirations. We will have other traders coming in and giving sessions to the option people, specifically to the option people, in areas that I might not be totally familiar with. As I say, Andrew Keene came in the other night. He's got his specific option trading program. So what we're trying to do is expose people to as many option trading programs as possible, so that you can then put candlesticks on top of it and make it that much more clear and easier to understand. When a trade goes against you, you'll be getting an email alert from me right away saying, all right, XYZ is not performing like it should. You should be closing out this program. So we're going to put out the recommendations on Thursday afternoon. That doesn't mean we're not going to be that we're going to be in contact with email alerts and recommendations during the week if we see something real good. Let's see. Will this strategy be helpful for day trading options using the T-line? Exactly. And that's, again, you're going to get more information. Broker recommendation, I use Thinkorswim only because I'm trading all sorts of things, currencies, commodities, and they've got it very easy where you can trade in each direction. Let's see. Is this logic going to be to use other than debit spreads or staggered spreads? Credit spreads, yes. We'll show people when it's the most opportune time to be using credit spreads versus a debit spread. And what about stocks without weekly options? Yeah, we still can buy, if it's got monthly options, we'll still do that. We will show the best advantages for whatever we're trying to trade. Sometimes you look at a stock and it looks great, and they don't trade options. Some others don't trade weekly options. Will the live sessions be archived in case we can't attend? Always. We always archive live our trading sessions. But I thought that he made a comment on this chat. I don't know what the... Yeah, Tom, yeah, as a matter of fact, we were in the process of writing all the formulas for Tom when he was bought out or he sold out to Ameritrade, and then that got kind of squelched. Let's see. What do you mean chart blowdown? What do you mean chart blowdown? I don't know what that is. How many recommendations on Thursday? Usually 2 or 3. Today we've put out 2. And again, the description where I usually do the stock recommendations, and you get 2 or 3, and it takes a minute and a half, including the market trend. Usually you're going to get about a 4-minute to 7-minute video with about 2 or 3 minutes on each one, telling where to buy, why we're buying, what your upside potential is, and where your stop loss should be on the underlying stock. Why Thursday? Because we want to get in before the expiration on Fridays. Can you post a phone number and a time to call? I guess I could. Or let's do it this way, because we're still in the process of packing. If you need to talk with me directly, email Abraham at Candlestick Forum. Say, I'd like to talk with Steve. Give me your phone number, and then I'll get back with you. That way, right now we've got people coming in and out unloading this house. Will the strategy use stop losses, orders, and trailing stops? Yes, and that's part of the education we do in the Candlestick Forum, as well as in the option area. Would WOE people, members, have access to your live chat room? No, you still have to be a member of the website. This is just now an add-on. So again, you'll get a lot of candlestick information in the option area. You get your whole basis of how to use candlesticks being a member of the. Where do members sign up? Gary, email Abraham at Candlestick Forum. We had the link on, or Becky, do you have the members link where the members can sign up? Is this a discussion, basically, the webinar for tonight, or are we going to do more than this? Yes, AJ, we're going to go into our regular session here right after this. On this mark tonight, it's the member price, or non-member price. The member price is $7.94. And let's see, Becky, if you'd put okay, yeah, members, you can email Abraham, and he'll get you set up. The price is for 1 year, yes. Now, as I mentioned before, in that 1 year price, just in December, this is the amount of option training we're going to do. So I think that totals up to more than the price of the membership if you were going to pay for them each individually. This chat is moving as fast as my ticker today. And I filled out the form, but there isn't any place to click this. Again, if there's a problem, email Abraham. And as I said last night, I can't imagine we're having any glitches in our new website area. Nobody would do that. Let's see. Could you please release past week's trade recommendations to see your success? Leo, we do so many of them that it takes me more time to update all the picks. Now, I think we've got the archives each day of the picks, so you can go back and check out what was picked the previous day, 2, 3, or whatever. On top of that, we're usually talking about the ones that we have successfully traded, and we'll get to some of those here in a minute when we get all the questions done in here. As a non-member of Candlestick Forum, what would be the total cost to become a member of both? Well, it's $97 a month, or if you buy, I think Pat has a special where you can buy an annual membership that is usually $904 for like $582, or you can buy the monthly membership at $97 a month. Synchro doesn't accept overseas. All right. If I just signed up to be a regular Candlestick member, can I cancel and sign up to be an options membership? Yeah, if you want to do that. But again, you won't have access to the members area. It'll just be to the options information. What has your performance been over the past year? Harvey, I don't like to answer that because I've got different accounts that I trade. Some of them are longer-term trades. Some of them are short-term trades. I've got my own trading accounts. So I try to, my longer-term accounts, I want to say average somewhere around 36 to 42% annually. My option trading account, my own little accounts that I trade, I've doubled my money over the last 30 days in my option trades, and we can keep looking at some of those. Now, that I say my option trades, I trade options, I trade commodities, and so I've more than doubled my money over the past 30 days. I don't do that every month, obviously. Some days there's bad hair days, but let's put it this way. I make enough money that I don't have to work anyplace else other than sit in front of my screens and be able to buy as many cards as I like. And Harvey, performance is based upon what each person wants to, how much they want to learn. And my feeling is, even if you have kids that want to learn how to invest, start with candlesticks, because that is just common sense investment practices put into graphic charts. All right, let me see if Thinkorswim. Thinkorswim is a good trading program where if you're trading a bunch of things, they work very well. If I signed up with the recommended, let's say, I'm way behind now. Let's see. You signed up last night. It went smoothly, Glenn. All right. Was that for Obamacare or was that for options? Website glitch. Yep. What is the price of the Candlestick membership? $97 a month, $241 a quarter, $582 or something for the year, I think, if you get the special. What's your trading success percentage? Dave, I don't have anything defined, but I probably can safely say that about 65 to 70% of my trades are positive. Now, that includes some trades are positive by 1%, some trades are positive by 300%. When I first started learning candlesticks, before candlesticks came along, I was always, every time I put on a trade is because I was smarter than everybody else and it should go up. And when it didn't go up, it's because people that's not as smart as me didn't see the reason for buying just yet. And what are your plans for long-term stock plans promised to this membership? It will be here soon as I can get, it'll probably be here before Christmas. And I'll get back to that in a minute here. Last 30 days were tailor-made, yes. But the previous 30 days were also tailor-made, going to the downside. So this has been a very good market to trade because you're either long or you're short. Is your long-term account return on a leveraged basis? No, just cash. Then can you do trades? Because I suck. Then can you do trades that cost? No, I used to suck. I used to be the worst investor in the world until candlesticks came along, and I could graphically see where I was selling at the bottom and buying at the top. And I thought, well, if I just turned around and did the opposite of what what the signals told me, I'd make lots of money, and I started making lots of money. Nice to include a review after action component and identify learning principles. We try to do that in the chat rooms every day. That's why we kind of once in the chat rooms on the stock basis, so we can follow the trades that we've recommended and have executed. Yeah, I trade. Yeah, I'm not. I don't. What would I say? Yeah, my stuff isn't theoretical. I'm trading every single day. I try to let people know instantly what I'm trading so that they can join in. But more importantly, I'm trying to teach people why those trades are made. Not just say, here, do this or do that. I want everybody to learn how to do their own scans. And the nice thing about it, as I was mentioning before, is we've got some traders in the room now that when they come up with a recommendation, I instantly look at their charts because they come up with great trades. And I've made probably tons of money just from the recommendations or the ones that people were discovering are good charts out of the chat room. Is the sign up for this new options program on your website? The link is right here, yes. And Becky, if you want to put up the link one more time. If you want to put up let's see, which link were you looking for? The non-members or the members? There you go. How many trades do you keep in your portfolio? I try to teach people money management, and I don't want to. I don't want to be analyzing my positions every night for hours. So I usually have approximately 10 positions on for two reasons. One, if one position goes hellaciously bad, it's not going to kill my portfolio. Two, each position is 10% of my portfolio, which is big enough that I better analyze it each night. If you've got 30 or 40 positions in your portfolio and one's not doing well, you can mentally rationalize, oh, it's only 2% of my portfolio or 3% of my portfolio. If it's 10% and you're able to sit here and trade and watch it, you're going to close out a bad position, and even an iffy position. My criteria is if you see something that looks iffy, why stay in it? There are so many good trades setting up each day based upon just simple scan techniques that that you move out of one bad or so-so position and hopefully move into a better position. Okay. Somebody's asking whether a lot of the recommendations have a wide bid-ask spread. That doesn't make any difference. If you're ready to buy the stock, put a bid in between. They'll hit you because they want you out of the way as fast as possible so that they can make their spreads. Will you have a separate option room? Not so much an option room. We'll probably have a option blog area where people can talk back and forth. You're showing 5 sessions in December. Are these Thursday nights? No, these will be Monday or Tuesday, Wednesday nights, and probably a Saturday, a couple Saturdays. How much capital do you need for all your strategies, long-term, monthly? You don't. That's up to you, NS. This is not a trading program that you need certain dollar amounts. This is a trading technique that no matter what dollar amount you have, you're going to be able to trade successfully with it. Okay, let's see. Do you have scans for Thinkorswim? Not yet. As I say, I started working with Tom Sazanoff before he sold out, and then sold out to Ameritrade, and then once all the attorneys got involved, everything got put on hold, and we just haven't been back to it. Will this be just for normal call, put options? I don't know about spreads. Bertha, we will be teaching all of it so that that you understand options and the best strategies for the best situations. Oh, we do have, Ed C. from our chat room has got the scans put on TC or Thinkorswim. Oh, Buckaroo, you caught me. They aren't corny jokes, they're funny jokes. We do have a 3 and 6 month subscription, yes. NS, not per se, as far as a married put or leap strategy. No, TradeStation, we were supposed to be doing the scans in September, and I don't know what happened to that project. I had it on my list. And the question was, we're also going to be setting up a long-term pick session, which is section of the market which I've only been trying to get up for about a year now, but we've had so many projects going. But I'm definitely going to do it, get it up, and that long-term picks has 2 elements to it. One is for the person that doesn't want to be trading all the time, obviously when they've got things that they would rather be doing instead of trading from the screen. And things like Ford Motor Company, some of the high-tech stocks that have a long-term outlook. And then there'll be other situations where we're going to be looking at small companies that may be working on new technology. We can identify when the interest comes into them based on candlestick breakout patterns. And when we do find one of those, then we'll have the capabilities of collecting research reports and getting more information about a company and have it all accessible in the long-term pick area. My long-term pick is anywhere from 30 days to 6 months. I do not believe in the buy and hold as we saw, and if you were buying and holding in 2007, you wish you hadn't done that in 2009. Is there a monthly fee alternative for this? We haven't gotten one of those set up yet, Harvey. What we're trying to do is we're trying to get the people that have been expressing interest in setting us up that are serious, get them in. Maybe down the line sometime we'll start setting up other. It takes a little bit to set up all these payment plan type things for on these the back end of these websites. in general with a directional trade? Do you like in the money, at the money? It's all dependent. Joe, that's not my decision. It's what each individual person wants to do. And so all I'm going to do is put out the prospects of what trades should be put on, and then each person can decide, well, I'd rather buy in the money calls, it's more conservative. I want to buy out of the money because it's more speculative. That'll be up to each person's decision. But what I will do in the process is I will explain to people that don't understand what the different risk-reward factors are of in the money, at the money, or out of the money. Make sure everybody's educated in that. Why not teach your option trading methods and leave these other traders out of the program? Simply teach as you do with stocks. At least consider, no sir. Why not teach us your option trading methods and leave these other traders out of the, I want the other traders to come in because my trading, just like anything else, my trading program that's successful for me might not be something that somebody else likes to do or likes to trade in that manner. So I want to bring other traders in just so that everybody has the opportunity to say, hey, I'd like that little tidbit of what he's doing. If I add that to my trading, it should be work out more successfully. Okay. Yes, this is recorded. Okay, let's do this. I know it's pretty late already. If you want, I can let's flip over and we can look at some live charts. I can show you some of the trades that we're doing right now. As a matter of fact, tonight we put out our first recommendations, and that will be accessible to people that are signing up. So let's see. And we'll get to cotton, my big money this week in cotton. Oh, Job, I can't think of a funny joke right offhand other than the preacher comes up and knocks on the door, and little Johnny opens the door, and the preacher says, Johnny, is your mom home? And he says, well, she's out back making love to a billy goat. He goes, well, Johnny, doesn't that upset your dad? He goes, nah. All right, that's the only thing I can think of right offhand. Okay. Jim, let's close this recording down. I'll close the screen down, and then we'll open up live screens, and we'll start going through some of the ones that we're working on right now.